The console wars have been around since the beginning of consoles. Fans who love this side or that side or their favorite system or their favorite games have always clashed in any way possible. Whether it was on the playground at school, on the Game Revolution forums, or on the GameFAQ forums, there's always been some form of evolved argument between fans of one console or one system over another. But I have to tell you this, guys, over the years, I've been through all of it. I've seen all of it. The Sega versus Nintendo, the Nintendo versus PlayStation, the PlayStation versus Xbox, the Nintendo versus PlayStation versus Xbox. I mean, it's been a heated competition for decades now at this point. But one thing that's always been in common with all of these console wars, and yes, I'm using multiple squiggly quotations here, is that it's usually whoever sells the most consoles will win the console wars. But now at this point, we have the goalpost that is being moved because the Nintendo Switch just so happens to be the system that's probably going to sell the most at the end of the day, because it's the cheapest system and it's the most functional system because you can take it anywhere that you want to go, and Nintendo makes a lot of games for it and first party blah blah blah, right? We see the sales, we know kind of how things are going. It's on track or on pace to be the best selling system of all time. Yes, above the Nintendo DS and above the PlayStation 2. But that's beside the point. Now the goalpost is being shifted. It's no longer about the console sales. If you're going to inject yourself into these console wars, it's no longer about the console sales. Now it's about revenue. Yes, revenue, not profit, not operating costs versus like revenue versus, versus profit or anything, but just revenue. So what you make and not necessarily how much you make off of it. Just one thing in there, And that is the shifting goalpost of some people at this point, because they know Nintendo is in a position to where they're probably going to be at the top. So what do? We pick up that goalpost and we move it over. We don't go with the standards that we went with for decades now at this point. And this whole console war stuff is absolutely hilarious in the first place. I've been there, done that, already been done with it. All I want to see from all these companies is they make money, they reinvest into their games, and we get awesome titles because of it. That's all I want to see. I don't care if this company sells more than that company, if that company sells more than that company. I'm not invested financially into any of them outside of what I spend to get some good games or whatever the case is. So I don't really care. Heck, PlayStation can sell 700 million consoles and Nintendo could sell 300 million consoles. And great for PlayStation, great for Nintendo. They both did good. Let's get the games. Let's play them. And I've been thoroughly happy with the output when it comes to Nintendo games. And Microsoft and Sony are doing their thing with Game Pass and PS Plus and first party games with Sony and Microsoft with Game Pass. So everything's all gravy. People generally seem to be happy for the most part. But now we have people that are hardcore into this console war stuff that are now shifting the goalpost over to revenue. I read a tweet on Twitter, which I found that was just absolutely hilarious, and I had to talk about it because I think this is just really funny. And the person says, PlayStation will end this gen #1 again by revenue, in parentheses, no question. And there seems to be a picture of Kratos looking into your soul, as in like, this will be #1 because Kratos said so. And by revenue, not by profit, but by revenue. I find this to be the most hilarious goalpost shifting I've seen. Okay, yeah, system that costs more going to make more revenue. Yeah, that makes sense. Now, profitability, not so much, but revenue, hey, it's there. Console sales, well, not so much, but revenue, I can brag about the revenue here. I'm gonna do it on Twitter. This is a joke. This is a joke. Some people just can't learn to take an L. If you're gonna go into this dimension of console wars and all that, just take the L. I took the L with the Wii U. Obviously, I was trying to say, hey, maybe it can come back. Nah, got bodied. Take the L when it comes to the console sales. The other systems came up, smoked the Wii U with the PlayStation 4 and with the Xbox. It is what it is. You pack it up, you go home, you try again, we get the Switch. It's doing really good. But now the tables have turned. Now the whole thought process is different. Now it's about other stuff. Now it's about different things. It's not about the console sales anymore, because the system that you love and that you praise up and everything isn't going to sell more than this little piece of crap tablet, right? That this little thing off to the side here. So now we got to sit here and talk about other stuff like revenue, as if that actually mattered when it comes to like video games or like what we're thinking about, right? System sales matter. Obviously, system sales matter. Revenue doesn't matter so much to the point to where it's like, okay, we're going to talk about it, because you need system sales, because without system sales, you're not going to get the support. If the Nintendo Switch isn't selling like it's selling, I doubt we'll see all the support that we've been getting for the system. We've had way more support on the system than the Wii U, and the Wii U died prematurely, didn't have the support. A lot of third-party games missed out on it. And yeah, there's similar things when it comes to the Switch with third-party games missing out, but there's far more games, like way more games than we got on the Nintendo Switch than we got on the Wii U. And why is that? Well, because the system is doing extremely well. Nintendo can invest into the system multiple times, multiple years. They can say, hey, this is going to be a great line of profit for us to make. We can continue selling games. People are happy. You know, there's some issues here and there, but at least we have a profitable system that's going to bring us to new heights. You can't do that with the Wii U because it didn't have the sales. No matter how much you love the system or whatever games or whatever the case is, it just wasn't selling enough. So therefore it was cut off and died prematurely. So system sales definitely matter, because the more system sales you get, the more support you should get, especially for Nintendo, since they don't follow the norms of Microsoft and Sony with x86 and SSDs and everything that they're doing there. You definitely have to sell systems. System sales are actually way more important for Nintendo than Microsoft and Sony, since they don't want to follow what third parties want to do with PC-like architecture and a box that just sits there, right? So Nintendo sales are actually extremely important in order to get some extra support, get whatever support they can, because we wouldn't be seeing all these cool games like No More Heroes 3, which once again, we didn't get any No More Heroes for the Wii U. We wouldn't be seeing Bravely Default. We wouldn't be seeing all these games, Monster Hunter Rise. All this stuff wouldn't have came to the Nintendo Switch without those sales. So that's very important. And I say this because the Wii U didn't get any of those. It got a port of Monster Hunter, and that was it. It didn't get any of the stuff that we've been getting. Didn't get a Fire Emblem. I mean, we got one Splatoon. We're getting 2 Splatoon games here on the, the Nintendo Switch. So to me, it's obviously important, and it means a lot in order to get the support and in order to get more investments from companies. So that's a good thing. Heck, even stuff like Monster Hunter Stories 2 would have never happened on the Wii U, but the Switch, it can happen because the system is selling very well. So to me, that's like the important thing. As a gamer, that's what I want to see, because therefore it means more games for me. But I'm not exactly sure what revenue means for me or why it's important when it comes to this. You generally want to see system sales, because system sales equals more games. They're going to make their revenue, but comparing what company makes more revenue than the other company, I mean, that's just weird. Like, I've never heard of that before. And it only started happening because the NPD started reporting revenue with it. Before, they didn't report revenue. So it was just funny because now, oh, they're reporting revenue now. Oh, well, they're the top in revenue. It's like, this is just really silly. This is silly. The goalpost shifted and all of that. Like, people need to learn how to take an L. Like, you can love a system and still say, you know what, yeah, it's not going to be, the best seller and all this type of stuff. And now shifting the whole thing to revenue, that's absolutely silly in my opinion. It's absolutely silly. I mean, we got a long generation to go. There's a lot of stuff that can happen. We don't know what's going to happen, but at the end of the day, play the games. At the end of the day, worry about the games. I mean, heck, you can talk about sales. I talk about sales all the time because you need the sales in order to keep things moving. If these video games didn't sell and all that, we wouldn't have all this. We wouldn't have the industry and have the business without the sales. So it's important to a degree. But revenue comparing, I mean, one facet of it, I mean, if you're going to compare revenue and all that, you got to compare profits. You got to start talking about operating costs. You can't just pick and choose what you want because there's a $500 system on the market, even though it's kind of getting cooked when it comes to system sales right now. Like, you can't do that. You can't do that at all. I just find that absolutely hilarious. Or at least if you're going to do that, at least compare it from month to month, because like dollar sales and stuff like that, Switch is still revenue-wise doing pretty freaking good. So I find it hilarious that people want to shift over to this. But it's interesting. It's interesting nonetheless. But I mean, play the games, right? The games are important. That's what's cool about it. And I just found it kind of hilarious that people are starting to shift to this and starting to say, oh, well, revenue now. The revenue's like, what does revenue do? Like, revenue's like, where's the profit? Like, profit gets invested back into what's going on. I mean, where's the games to kind of show for it? That's the most important stuff here when it comes to it, right? Your system's doing well. Yeah, revenue's a part of it. Yeah, you have to make revenue in order to keep things moving, but at the same time, a comparison of revenue and being number one, like, nah, like when it comes to like gaming, it's like, if you're gonna go that route, like you gotta go like, just like the console war. You gotta go like, well, who sold more? This is just absolutely weird. And like I said, it's goalpost shifting at this point, because I guarantee you, if the PlayStation system was in the position that Nintendo was in when it comes to things like when it comes to like the system sales, everyone's talking about, oh, how much the PlayStation sold, right? How much it sold more than Microsoft, how much it sold more than Nintendo. It was always about that. But now that it's clearly set that Nintendo's probably going to be the top, all of a sudden now it's about something else, and that's what I don't like, because I actually worked through that. Like, I saw that every day with the Wii U versus the PlayStation 4 and versus the Xbox. Everyone's just not talking about revenue, even though PlayStation definitely had the most revenue. They're talking about the system sales. Now all of a sudden it's changed up. Nah, I'm good on that. I'm good on that. If you're gonna go that route, keep it simple. You know what I'm saying? Keep it simple. Stop trying to shift the goalposts and all that. I just found that absolutely hilarious. But for me, what I care about is the system's doing well. What I care about is the developers getting money so they can continue to make more games, or the publishers getting money, continue to make more games, and they can make better games, and they can do right for the gamers out there. That's cool. That's what I'm about. And that's what I like to see with the Switch, and that's what we've been seeing. So that's what I'm about when it comes to it, about the system sales. Make sure the system's doing well in order for us to get more games. But hey, people have their own priorities, right? So what are your thoughts on the revenue wars? What are your thoughts on the ever-changing, the new type of console war? It's not even console war, it's revenue war. Revenue war. It's like operating profit war. What's next? Profit war? What are we gonna have? Operating cost war? Ordinary profit war? What are we gonna do next, man? I want to know. What are your thoughts on this? You guys can let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Check out the links in the description. We've got Twitter. Go and give us a follow on there. Stay up to date on all the latest gaming news and information. Also, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you can. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you for the next one. Peace.